So let me check whether it's in Facebook. Yes, we are live. So welcome to our beautiful workshop here in Safavi Valley. My name is Lilian. I'm co-hosting with Jamal today. So I'm actually very, very excited. I had a walk and I was like receiving all the beautiful nature and the sun, which is I'm just starting the day of the daylight, and I feel into uplifting when I walk today. Like it's just a lot of beautiful energy coming in, and it's just like, wow, this is the special one. So I'd like to bring Jamal to the screen and for him to introduce himself to us. I think I might to you, Jamal.
Oh, hi. Hello, everyone. I am very excited to be here. I thought I might be a little nervous, but for some reason I'm not. So forgive me for that. So if you want to make me nervous, feel free to do so. So I am located in Toronto, Canada, and it's very interesting. I'm talking to Lilian from tomorrow. So she's our tomorrow, February 17th. So that's very amazing. So can you give us some information about future, Lilian? What's going on in future? Any lotto number? Can you do something? Any
I remember,
stock market information?
I remember yesterday when we were chatting on the phone, I was like, Jamal, I'm in a portal of going into the next day. And you are
That's
just
true.
going into like, it's just in that portal, like entering, and I'm like exceeding the day, the night, and then entering the daylight, and you are opposite. I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. And then it's 1111. Remember that? I was like,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So I said that when I walk, right? And then it was just the day was really like the energy of the day is really soothing. Like it's soothing my body. It really soothing my heart. I was like, wow, today we're gonna talk about intuition. So something came to me is heart intuition.
Heart intuition.
Mm.
Okay.
Because we also think about is what is intuition? So we're gonna dive into what is intuition, the word first. So for people to really unpack the word intuition by what is the mind intuition, what is the heart intuition, what is the body intuition or spirit intuition, whatever is that means to you. So we're gonna be unpack all of that and then bring into your wisdom, Jamal, like how do you know that you're intuitive, or how do we work through with that? I know that you have a story with that when we just started to collaborate. I was like, yes, let's open this. So yeah. So that is blended.
But to me, intuition, I think there's a coming from Latin word, and word itself, for me, what it means to me is inner knowing. And I also, so are you going to start unpacking it, or you want me to
Oh no,
start
we just
giving my
conversation.
version?
Yeah, continue. Don't go. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give my version, and please, this is my version and my truth. I'm sure there are many truths out there, but that's something works for me at this moment, so I'm going to share it. Hopefully it resonates with you, or if doesn't resonate, so please just drop it. And something I'd like to also mention, lately I noticed, I think because of the raising of vibration, planetary vibration and human collective, we are accessing higher consciousness and more information come into our field. I mean, I'm experiencing this for myself. So there are some information even about the chakras. So part of the intuition, the package is our chakras. Our chakras are transmitter receiver information. We receive and transmit information through our chakras. So lately I was introduced to two other major chakras. I always thought we have 7 major chakras in our body, but now I have 2 more, which is 2 of them are in our feet, in our ankles, so which is connected to our destiny. and two of them in our knees, which is they're connected to our ancestors. So these are something kind of new I received a few months ago, and I was very excited to know about them. So I also noticed many others receiving different and new information about basically human operating system, how the human operates and how we receive information. So to me, we have many sources of information which we receive. The major one, I call it our soul, or let's call it higher self, which is we receive communication through our heart chakra. The other one is very important for me, and I believe for all of us. It's our human entity, which is basically soul. Let's call it earth-bound soul. So that's the soul only incarnates in the earth and specifically focuses on human earth experience and evolution, which communicates through our solar plexus. Some people call it gut feeling, but that's our human entity interacting with us. The other one, let's say, this is two. Third one for me is our body. Our body has innate consciousness, which is communicates with all of the human bodies in planet, and it's always receiving and transmitting information. So this is also part of, let's call it our intuition and our receiving our messages. The other one is, I call it overall consciousness, or some people they call it mind, which is not localized in our head. This is like in the field. So all this information comes to that overall consciousness, which is our mind. And from there, we kind of goes through our filters and comes to our, let's say, processor, which is our brain. And then we process that information, and then we do whatever is necessary with that information. So intuition for me, that's all packaged, and what is best for us at that moment comes through. So I call that information coming through many different sources, intuition, and comes through without any evidence or any reasoning. For me, it's just inner knowing. It's like a download comes and I just know it. And for me, that's my truth. There is something else in our system, in our mind, which is, we call it ego. So again, this is something, it's not natural to our human design, but something we agree to utilize in order to basically fully experience separation. So ego is basically like a artificial intelligence or the self-learning software, which is start from learning from our childhood and learns from our environment, learns and learns and upgrades and learns and learns and upgrades. And its job is basically, I call it risk assessment. So everything we want to do, everything we want to say, every action or reaction first goes through that ego, and ego gives us the idea. Is this safe to do so? Is this wise to do so? So basically becomes, after a while, becomes the filter between our overall consciousness and our intuition. Ego jumps in and gives us the story, basically filters the information we are receiving. So this is basically my understanding of intuition and how we receive it and how to access information. Is actually we always accessing our information, but the challenge is ego always jumps in and gives us the story and what to do, what not to do, don't do this, don't do that. So basically this is how I perceive the intuition and the information. And I like to hear your version if you'd like to add something or if you have any question.
Thank you, Jamal, for sharing And before I go further, I'd like to welcome as well Monya actually in the Zoom in the Zoom with us. And of course, I will also invite her if you can come on board here with us to have a conversation. Monya, is that going to be okay with you? I would love to invite you as well to join our conversation.
Sure. I do have one question.
Yeah, go on.
For Jamal. I struggle with trusting the voices I get. So do you have any advice? Like, I do recognize my ego gets in the way. But how do I start to trust the voice
Okay,
and actually follow through?
that's a very good question. Thank you for that. But let me maybe makes you a little bit more comfortable. It's not only you, it's basically all of us. I mean, if you're in human body, you're going to experience that. And this is the programming we get started. As I said, ego starts learning from environment and usually starts from childhood. So from time 0 to 2 and 2 to 7, we're just learning, observing, and just everything taken in to learn how to be human. So basically, it starts, first of all, from our parents or guardians. When we are kid, and let's say you feel to do something, let's say you want to go and have a cookie, but your parents, your mom, your dad, your guardian, whoever, they come and tell you, no, don't eat this. You shouldn't eat this. You feel like eating it, but they thinking is if you eat this, you're not gonna have a dinner or for whatever reason. So basically, they tell you because they are adult, they know better than you do. And then you basically suppress whatever you're feeling and start trusting the adults. And then you want to wear something. They tell you, don't wear this, don't say this, don't go there, don't do this. So these are basically against our inner knowing, against our intuition. So we start suppressing and not paying attention to our own intuition. And then you go to school. Your teacher comes in and they tell you, we know better than you do. You're a kid. We are teacher. You should do, you must do whatever we tell you to do. That's another suppression, another layer comes. Okay, I mean, for my personal experience, I didn't like math, but my teachers come and forced me to learn math. I was very good at interested of history, but they forced me to learn math because they say, you don't know, you're going to grow up, you're going to need math, you have to do this, do this, do this. But my inner, let's say, interest was history, and I didn't like math. So that was another layer for me coming from teachers. And then you grow up, let's say you have a partner and you think your partner has more experience than you do in different areas. And then you start trusting them instead of your intuition. And then you go to work, your boss comes in. Hey, I'm boss, I know better than you do. You need to do this, you should do this, don't do this. So these are all layers we get programmed, all of us. And it's layer by layer by layer by layer. We get that feeling, but we don't trust it because we've been programmed, look externally for confirmation. That's how we lose that trust. But the best way to get back is release all these old programs and just notice they are just programs. Someone else's belief we adopt somewhere along the way. Just drop them all. And what I did from in my journey was I start when I received something, I start uh, I start asking questions and start acting on them. And I started with like a small things. Let's say I go grocery shopping. I want to buy apple or orange. I just simply hold this apple and I just ask, is this beneficial for me? And I just waited for that kind of like an inner knowing, that sign. And then I had the orange in my head. Is this beneficial for me? And then which one was stronger? I start acting on it. So slowly, slowly, I brought back my own inner knowing and I start acting on it. By acting on it, basically, you start clearing, having that clear communication back. And then slowly went to bigger questions, bigger questions, bigger questions. And now I'm here. I never done this before, but when Lilian was kind enough to invite me to do this, my inner voice told me, yes. My ego gave me 100 stories and reason not to do it, but my inner voice was yes. And I listened to it. And now I'm here. And to be honest, I'm enjoying to be here. I hope you guys doing the same thing. So that was my experience. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yes, thank you. So how do you feel that it's like intuition and not your ego?
Well, to me, intuition, there is no attachment, there is no judgment to it. So when I receive the intuition, it's very neutral. But my ego is always judgment and fear into it. So my ego always tries to take something from my past and project that to my now and to my future. But intuition is very neutral. So for me, I can feel the different. I think that's why people call it discernment. And I think very good for all of us to practice this. Just have a discernment. Is this coming from loving place or is this coming from fear place? And you can also practice this in the external world. When you hear something, you see something, you can just fully tap into yourself and use that discernment, even in your day-to-day life. I mean, that's how I do it. And it takes a little practice, but when you go back to your inner knowing, it's very solid and life becomes fun. There is no fear involved. Whatever you do, you just flow with the life. You don't need to, you don't have to unfold the life. Life unfolds and you just flow with it. And that's the magic right there. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you so much for all of that conversation. It's so, I'm like writing a lot. So I'm gonna share with you what I write because when when you talk, it's just a lot of things coming into my field as well. So I write a lot so that I can reflect back what I wanted to share. So thank you so much for bouncing back on the conversation. And that question is so important because that is the first thing that how do you know that is real, right? That is like the trust. So I wanted to bring into a different way of experiencing intuition. So for me, I like to bring Monia into a practice first. It's a very, very easy practice, and Jamal, you can do this as well. Monia, would you be able to put yourself on the screen? Because I love to see your face.
You're calling me out.
Yes, calling you out because you're here for the reason in a way that like three of us, right? So that is I would love you to bring into the practices because it's the embodiment. So the questions that you said, how do you trust your voice? So I'm gonna do these simple practices so to share with you, and you are going to join me now. Be present. So drop into and then immediately you will know. You don't have to share, but if you wanted to, you're more than welcome. So just remember that the space is a safer space and it's safe. Okay. So how do we trust that inner voice? And that inner voice is also the intuitions, right? So I want you to close your eyes now. Just practice this with me. It's very simple. Just regulate yourself with a simple practice of your inhale and exhale. So inhale through your nose and exhale to your mouth. It's just like you're blowing off the candlelight to release what's everything that is in your body now. And we'll do one more time. And now the second set of practices of deep breathing is breathe through your nose again. And when we breathe out this time, we visualize that there's a staircase in front of us. And when we walk down as exhale, we walk down and we sound out. Just follow me. So inhale. And visualize that you're walking down the stairs. And exhale. Walk down and exhale down as deep as possible. So we do this a couple of times. We're walking down the stairs. So inhale in. I remember the sound is important. I invite both of you to sound out with me. Inhale again, the last one. And how is this feeling in your body now? Feeling to touch. Is that the peace? Is that the calmness? The stillness? And we can ask the questions and deep listening. When you are ready, you can come back to the body and open the eye. How's that feeling right now?
Oh, it always feels wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, to take a minute to be present feels great. Yeah.
So in that stillness, in that quiet, that is the energy of feeling that inner knowing in the void. So this is the body intuition. Our body is intuitive. And looking back to what Jamal is talking about is the energy center, it's chakras. But now bringing into a different way of going into the intuition. So if you find yourself that, okay, I'm so much in the mind, that your mind is doing the negotiations. So when we breathe into coming down the staircase, is bringing the mind connect to the heart, connect to the body. And then however you walk, how far is the staircase is yours. And that is bringing you inside your body present instead of abandoned yourself. Okay. When we started to asking, should I trust of that inner voice? In other words, should I trust myself? That is the separation feeling. That is disconnectivity, this connection from our heart and our body. And that is also the abandonment. So that's why breathing to bring into this all the way in. Jamal talking about the higher self, right? We're always thinking about higher self is so good, which is good. But always, we always bring higher self is outside the ground. Bring inside here. Bring the higher self with you. Soul and body. Inner self. Move into this heart. The inner self is sitting in this space of the heart intuition. It's always there. And that is feeling like an inner child. Do you want an apple? Do you want an orange? But you want to your heart, whether your inner child is giving. I want a very sweet apple. I said, no, I want a chocolate. I want a chocolate cake. Oh my God, it's a sugar hitting. I'll be in there. I bought a donut for myself early in the morning. Oh, we don't eat donuts. I no, I don't want a donut. And my inner child like, no, I want a donut. I was like, okay, it's really loud. Okay, just have a donut. It won't do any harm, right? But when I have that first bite of that donut, it's so sweet. It dropped into my heart core. And we are the one that have that programming of 7 a.m. do not have donut. O'clock, we are running in these linear times instead of what we can do, what we can't do. Jamal talking about no expectation. Yes. So we can, if we talk about 7 a.m. sugar, my sugar would be heat up and my sugar level would be this. Can you feel that? We are like giving ourselves a big judgment. Giving ourselves that smacking. No, 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 right? So that is like bringing to that and sitting in that. It's just like, oh my God. It's just like, it's a lot of self-harming, self-abuse. In this word conversation, how do we bring in these conversations, right? To speak to ourselves. The way that we speak to ourselves is also part of intuition. Because the word holds the frequency. I wanted to speak into the vibration and the frequency. The vibration high, the frequency may not be high. So I, myself, focus is raising the frequency, the vibration will follow. So that is mine, because I had to practice a lot of the heart frequency in my body. And that brings into a lot of intuition. So what is body intuition I wanted to share? It's the touch. Right? When you touch something, it reminds me of my childhood, let's say. When you taste, when you eat something, oh my God, this is like my mom's cooking, my grandma's cooking. I remember that. When you smell, when you walk. I remember I had that. Right. I remember that I could smell like this curry from my neighborhood. Right? I said, I love the Malaysian curry. I miss that. That brings back the memory. So the memory in our mind, just like Jamal was talking about, it built layered. Is that a programming or we been conditioned? So we are working just like you said, layered. Oh, conditioning, and we work until unconditional. And bring into unconditional love, that pure love that we all are. And you're not talking about teachers, parents, when go to work, your boss, your bosses, and also your relationships around friends, families, and lovers. It's a lot of conditioning. And you will feel into this. A lot of people say, "Oh, that is life." That's normal. So this is like suppress of your intuition too. It's like, I don't feel that. So that I don't feel that. That is starting to break the wall. You break down the wall and you break through. That is starting to trust in your voice. I'm gonna do them myself. I don't think it's true what he say or what she say. My body just have that red light. There's red light intuition. Let's say it this way. You want to have that traffic light, right? But when you feel nervous system going shaky, ground, say ground in reverse by breathing, anger in the core. That's why the breathing system is very important. And your body system will become safe first. Clarity will come through. Focus is the next thing. That is the rooted, grounded on trust in the core, the heart, and then you will know what to do. So that is my piece of sharing. Let me check my note. What else? I'm just blowing. But I hope that resonate with you and with both of you. And yeah, that's my piece of share.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Mm. So Jamal, do you have anything else that you wanted to share? I'm sure there's more.
Well, actually, you said it beautifully. But I mean, about being in present, being in the moment, that plays a major role in accessing our intuition. Because when we are busy in our head, which is usually, I call it ego, just talking to ourselves, and most of the times, or sometimes judging ourselves, basically we are filtering that intuition, and we are not listening basically to our intuition. So the best way to access the intuition is just to quiet the mind, to practice, to not pay attention to the mind, and slowly gets quiet and quiet and quiet, and not see the ego as an enemy or that talking voice as an enemy, because as I mentioned before, ego is designed to give us specific experience of separation. Without ego, we couldn't experience what we experienced. And look at it as a tool, look at it as a something, as I said, always does risk assessment. And instead of fighting with it, understand it and give it a new work to do, which is just observe and just relax and allow that higher intelligent, higher mind to come in and basically run this vessel. By doing that, ego starts trusting more and more and sees, okay, because ego cannot operate in unknown. Ego always wants to be in familiar environment. Even if it's uncomfortable, ego convinces you to stay there because this is familiar. I know what's going on here. We are uncomfortable, I know, but stay here. Ego fears the change and always convince us not to do change. But when we listen to our intuition, to that higher mind, to that higher consciousness, we came here for a change. This is our path of revolution. This is our path of accessing the oneness consciousness and letting go of that ideal and illusion of separation, which we played with for thousands of years. Now I believe all of us, we came here to experience, activate and experience that oneness consciousness, that unconditional love, and start experiencing and basically letting go of that separation. I think we played enough with the idea of separation. Even looking at ourselves, we kind of separate ourselves. I mean, I did. I said, this is my body, this is my soul, this is my human entity, this is my ego. We put everything even in separation that way. For me, is first level of oneness is putting everything as a whole and seeing everything as a one. So I don't see my soul, higher self, as a separate, that this body and this. So everything comes back together, and we create that collective of intelligence and, let's call it, information, to play this game of being human. And I believe we all came here to upgrade this game. Excuse me. We came here, get lost in the game, play the inverted human game, which is separation and division, and then release all of it and come back to our essence, which is oneness and unconditional love, and basically upgrade this planetary game, or holographic projection, let's call it. So I think this is part of our collective purpose to be here. And I don't know, I think we all playing our role in some way. And by releasing our own old versions, what we thought we are, who we thought we are, and basically by doing that, we are uploading that information to the collective. And we are opening the basically path for others to follow and remember who they are and why they are here. And hopefully very soon, we all can get together and experience that no judgment, no condition, and just have fun and be yourself, whoever you are. I think that's it for me.
Thank you. What I wanted to share is a lot that we want to do for the collective. So we're talking about human collective. So we can only do so much. But first, we focus on ourselves first. Because if we are not focusing on self, can you bring into this healing to other people? Can you bring into your mission, your true self, to walk as who you are? If you don't even know what you're going to come here to do, what you're here to do, and it's not like, oh, I think I wanted to do this. I was like that. I was like that, trust me, I was. Because everybody have mission, right? I was like, oh yeah, I think I feel like that. I think that I'm like this too. But the more that I join behind the tail, I drop off. Yes. Okay. So yeah, so I slowly dropping off because I was like, I don't feel resonate. And I was like, oh, I become myself. I was like, oh, I become so lonely. I feel, am I disconnected? So I come back to myself, to really asking that. And again, this is highly intuitive. It's a higher sensitivity. I want to bring into sensitivity here too. It's a HSP, higher sensitivity perception. So this means that sensitive is not a bad thing. We always say that you are so sensitive. If someone is not sensitive, they're numbness. There's numbing there. When we're sensitive, we could feel, you could feel where people coming from. It's a sympathy or compassion. If you are empathy, bringing those really beautiful energy in too, right? And when you sit in a circle or gathering like this, sensitivity is a lot. I'm sure that you can feel when you're hearing. So when we're talking about 100 people on the stage, that person is, talking, right? Sometimes it's not going in. It's all maybe in and out. So we'll ask ourselves, why is that? So sensitivity is heightened sensitivity. It means that for me, it's heightened intuition because we can pick up, filter that sentences, environment of what is coming through all around you. So that means clearing our vessel, clearing, shielding is so important. Because our mind is so easy. Our mind is the most intelligent things in the body, right? Of course, including the heart. But our mind is always wanted to do things, wanted to do. The heart is the feeling. Anything is coming first. It depends where you are. The mind always absorbs first because our mind would know the history part. This is like a history book. I did it before, I know what's coming through. I know what am I gonna do next. Our mind is perfect for that. But our mind don't have feeling. It's only one organ, amygdala, inside the mind, inside the brain, have that feeling. It's the emotion, the feeling. So when the amygdala of the brain receive that message, so when I hear you guys coming in, I can hear you, my cochlea inside the ear of that true rings, the little bone is vibrating. It is receiving the information. What's information? It's the frequency. When you guys talk. So my is shaking. Everybody's the same on me. So that is receiving one channel or one of the path going to the mind. Another channel sending down to your heart. And the rest of the body, because our nervous system, vagus nerve is all interconnected, right? It's sending information. So this part is so important. And also how do we bring this part down to the body? And you will know that our skull is actually not connected. Skull is ended here. If you can hold it at your skull, the brain is not connected. Here, sending to here, whatever that is in here, you know, the god of mouth. If I'm going, the throat is the only pathway connect top and the heart. This part is important. We talk, here vibrate. Sending information down to your heart processing and out from inward, outward. Why am I bringing this? Sensitivity, inner knowing, intuition. Body intuitive is a body organ intuitive, body organ. So this is what I want to bring into the science space too. So yeah, a lot of times when we think about intuitive, you don't know how to describe. And the things that you experience something that is outrageous or unique that you have not experienced yet. And then you're like, I'm not sure that is right. Just we're not trusting the voice, right? And our mind started to talk louder. That is to keep you safe. That is the mind work, the job. Nothing wrong with that. And when we connect heart and mind coherence, that's where the power is. And that's where all the blossoming is. You just know. And no expectation, and just continue to trust and walk or receiving. You're on the way, you will receive the download information, the data. And then whatever that you have a question, you will connect. Because everything is already there. When we are clear, we're doing a lot of clearings on our body. Coming back, connected back when we're talking about clearing the body, vessel. Can I do that? Okay. So we do this clearing the body. It's also clear all of these channels. So we have our discernment so clear that we know what is for us. And that is the true self coming through, coming out in front of you, around you, just like Jamal was talking about, all of you. And you will know, you sit there, is so present. and the other person can feel. Clearing our body around the field, we need to learn that. And also shield and protection, because we can only protect ourselves as we do our energy work or you expand your frequency. You will see that you could feel, if you feel like me, my field is so big, so wide that every day I'm cleaning, of course. Use light language, whatever modality that you use is all it's about. So yeah, clearing, purifying, restoring in our core essence of who you are and not other people's one. So yeah, because you will know that what is for you, only you know. I can't give to you. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share.
That was great. Thank you for that. I also like to add something about sensitivity. Again, my own personal experience, and I remember being child and being sensitive, but because of the environment I was in, it was very intense for me. Unfortunately, I had no one to teach me about these energies and sensitivity and how to deal with them and how to use them. So I was bombarded with the things, it didn't resonate with me. In order to stay alive, I learned how to numb myself. I learned how to leave the body. And I did this for many, many, many years. And I know many people use these coping mechanisms not to feel whatever going on around them, because most of the time they are not pleasant. I mean, in my experience, I don't know about you guys, how you guys grow up. My environment wasn't very pleasant. So it took me some time to kind of bringing back myself to that senses and start feeling what is around me and start appreciating. So for me was, I don't know, kind of self-taught to myself. Unfortunately, I had no one to teach me when I was a kid. And I think that's a great thing to teach to the kids, what is energy and how to utilize it. I don't want to use word to manipulate, but I don't know any other word because that's alchemy. When we learn how to take all these energies all around us and use it to our own benefit or for highest good of all, that's the alchemy to me. But unfortunately, I learned it in the hard way. So I had to learn many techniques and tools and coping mechanisms not to feel whatever I was feeling. So that was another major challenge for me. I don't know if that resonates with you guys. You guys experience the same, or it wasn't really, I don't know.
Monia, do you have any experience of that?
Yes, I definitely wasn't in touch with my body for a very long time. And so, yeah, I resonate with the difficult childhood. And then just to be able to stay alive, you have to suppress a lot of stuff. So getting back in touch is tricky, but it's happening. So yeah, I can relate, Jamal.
Yeah, I can relate to that deeply as well, as my journey is hard. So literally that no feeling, even the heart is pumping, I couldn't feel. Well, I could feel my heart is beating, but my awakening is from like what I'm not feeling. So my grandparents for both sides, maternal and paternal, passed away like a long time ago when I was in high school or uni time. Near to like those transition, uni and high school and uni. I was one of their like favorite one. My grandparents have lots of grandchildren, which is very blessed. And I was here in Australia and they were back home in Malaysia, in Borneo. So I came from Borneo. And I didn't have a tears. And I started to question myself. I said, I should be crying. Why I have no tears? And I was like, my heart could feel, but I could feel there's a shield there, like a block, but I don't have the word. Just like I said, when we have this intuition, we don't know how to describe. We don't have the word to put into it. So I was like, okay. And then you get busy. And then you just, after that later on, go away, right? And then you literally exit the door of the self, of your own door, the heart door. And not to feel, not to spend the time, just questioned. Like I wasn't doing any of the inner work. I did not do any meditation. That was where the time is. And I remember that I had this, I could feel the block, and I thought that, oh, my heart is something not right. And then I just didn't even go down to go Googling. You know, we love Google so much. Then I did not even do anything of that. And my mom's 2 pets also passed away, like died. Also died. And I was very deary to the birth pet animal. Again, no tears. And I also did not even bother to go and visit. My mom called me, is like, I'm in the vet, do you want to come? Which is just, you know, I'm in the city working, but it's near to home, like my mom, which is here in Australia, right? And I did not go. I said, no, it's okay. I just gonna pray. So I do my own job as praying. I was in a prayer. But I then realized that I checked out. My emotion is not there. My feeling is not there. I literally checked out myself. And because I do not know like how to do it. I always say, this doesn't resonate, close the door, open another door. This is my own modality before, so that I actually escape not to feel. And when I found this word coming through of like, when the heart like breaking apart, like literally consecutively, you know, blossoming, I was like breaking apart. I was like, wow. It's just like, I have the door here, right? I literally close the door and open another door. And what happened to that door? I literally fragmented myself. My soul is still there crying, frozen. I close the door, bang. And I open another new door. So how many doors I opened throughout these 40 years? I reopened that door to collect myself back to wholeness. It's a lot. So that made me so sensitive to all part of my body. Collect my soul back, fractals, fragmented, healing, forgiveness, compassion. And from there, the joy came. A lot of giggling and become like, it's like innocent. And joy and happiness is always there. I feel so deep. Sometimes I felt, sometimes most of the time I feel so deep that I talk to people, I cried, especially on the online world. So that high intuition, start to talk to me. And then I hear them. No question. The heartbeat never lie. That's what I want to share. Our heartbeat never lie. This is where the home is.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I also like to add something. In my culture, and I assume it happens in many different cultures, I've been trained by others not to feel emotions. So for me, feeling emotion was weakness. So if you cry, you sign of weakness. So for years and years and years, you just shared that not crying. I didn't cry. I couldn't cry. It's the exact same as you should. I didn't know how to cry. So I suppressed all of them. And during my journey, I did many inner child healing or inner child work. So when I went there and visited all those events, which is there was emotion involved, but I didn't know how to deal with it. So I kind of put them in the box and I just left them there and I just like them top of each other. But I reached the point that I had to go back and open all those boxes and look at them and feel whatever I didn't feel or I couldn't feel at that time. It wasn't very fun, to be honest. It was very intense situation I was involved in when I was little and I didn't know how to deal with them. So, but I did it and I'm glad I did it because as you just mentioned, when we experience something, some people call it trauma. Let's use that word for now. When we experience that trauma, part of our consciousness stays there. Some people call it soul fragmentation, but it's like a consciousness fragmentation stays there. And there's an emotional link to this now moment. And just by going there, looking at it, releasing it, or
Right.
feeling it, that link basically gets disconnected and you get more of your consciousness, more of your soul back. So that was my experience about not feeling. So basically, I don't know. I've been trained not to feel all these emotions, and I think it's very common to most of us, which had a intense childhood or even intense adulthood. We kind of trained ourselves in order to stay alive, not to feel emotions and kind of put them in some boxes and suppress them. And there are some people I know that experience some type of diseases. So I think these diseases are the basically bodies telling you there is some suppressed emotions. There is something you need to sit down and look at it and release it. So that was my, again, personal experience. And I've seen this with other people too. All these suppressed emotions gonna pop up somewhere in your physical, in your mental body, somewhere gonna create something to grab your attention. It's not like a punishment, but our emotional body, our mental body talking to us and communicating. They want that to be seen. They want that to be released. So I did many of that work and I'm glad I did it. As I said, I call it inner child because I believe we all have that inner child within us, that innocent, that playful little child wants to come out and be creative and be playful and be curious. It's always there. Unfortunately, mine was very fearful. It couldn't trust anybody. It couldn't come out. It couldn't play. Didn't want to play because he felt each time he wants to play, it gets hurt. Couldn't trust anyone because he felt, okay, if I trust someone, my heart is going to get hurt. So it took me some time to get there and bring that inner child back. I'm talking about it. I can feel there is still emotions happening there. But now I'm kind of sit down and connect with that inner child, just hug it and kiss it. Say, come on, let's go play. Let's go have some ice cream. My thing is ice cream. So the other day, I kind of convinced myself. I said, hey, listen, I'm grown up now. Nobody can stop me. I want to have some ice cream for breakfast. And I didn't. But I felt sick afterward, but I did it anyway. So it was a good experience.
It's like I'm eating donut at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Same scenario. But I
I
did
love
it with
how
ice
you
cream.
bring
Yeah.
into this, like the with the man, like I'm like you literally represent a masculinity in like as in the main world of how like the emotional part, right? And I also wanted reflecting in the woman's world or the female's world is the same, that in a way that I can share in these experiences. When I was little, I already know that I have this. I mean, when I started to do my inner work on a reflect, like I said, we will always go back to inner child and reflecting where is the trauma come from, right? So I realized that when I was younger, like probably 4, 5, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I already knew that I already know that the numbing is there because my parents always said no to me. No, everything is no. It's so rare that to say yes. I'm not allowed to go to friend's party. If I wanted to do a party, right, and I want to go out to a party by the karaoke, or I was already in high school, so I came here in Australia when I was 16. So I'm talking about prior to that. So my parents will host the party for me in my home. I said that's not the point. I want to go out with my friends. No, right? And then I also experienced a lot of like things that I would love to try, explore, experiences, everything, no. And at the end, very quick, of course, I do things without asking them. That is the numbing, the shield, the heart shielding up, you know, and then it is shield up. And by the end, I realized that I have a lot of that thick wall already when I started to work on myself. I said, where does this wall come from? Like all the wall, thick wall, I can't even penetrate through, right? Which is become numb and not feeling. So that's how I found it out. When you say no to a person, whether it's adult kids, of course, kids absorb more, right? You started to smell, swallow everything, right? When we swallow, there's repress, suppress, oppress. So
Absolutely.
in the woman
But
body, it absorbs so much that I learned when I learned about the body work, the body stuff, like I learned to my own self, my own body, everything is suppressed. Where is this like energy, stuckness, purging coming from? Like the front of our body is received, the women's are receiving. And when we're not sharing our vulnerability, our emotions, and then we were being told that you are too much. And all the lacking feeling that we have, unworthiness, it built all in this layered. The woman body is literally absorbed on our breast, our chest, our heart, absorbing my womb space, stuckness, our lower organ, stuck. When a lower organ chakra stuck, this block, zip,
absolutely, yes.
everything got locked. We need to find the key, the golden key to unlock all of them. Pain, tears. You can hear the crack. I've heard my heart crack a lot of times, but it turned to blossoming very quickly too. And I'm sure the man as well too is a lot of feeling into and just, you know, you have to be, you know, you're the man, you have to be the man. Grow up, right? This is a
Absolutely,
lot of
yes.
like shielding to you, like grow up, right? Put your tears back. No tears. You're the man, right? But no,
Absolutely,
when we learn a lot, it's just like all of this is. I felt that all what we're talking about here become like why our conversation land into emotional man and women. This is like the next layer of intuition too. Well, intuition is very small things. Trust, right? When you hear you trust, when I say small, it's also very huge. If you don't pass this, you don't feel, because intuition is like you hear, you feel, you sense, right? All the feeling in the body, you started to like open up, all the clairs, that clairvoyance, clairsentient, claircognizant, right? And just all of that is from intuition to all the clues open. When these things open up, don't you feel that you have emotion and feeling coming into? Of course. So that's where the alchemy work, transmutations, all that happening. Inner work coming through. So yeah. So I think that Jamal, our next workshop it's already open.
Yeah,
Don't
why
you
not?
think? Don't you think? Don't you feel that it's coming? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, what you just shared is, I believe it's very deep collective programming. We all have that, and coming from our ancestors. And I believe we kind of volunteered. Okay, we're gonna go there, take all this in and release it for all the past and future. And we all have feminine and masculine energy within us. But for me, I've been trained basically suppress my feminine energy. I have very strong masculine energy because I've been trained to be this way. So my feeling, my emotion, my creativity, my intuition, basically all is part of my feminine energy. So now I'm learning how to activate, or let's call it reactivate, my feminine energy and to get familiar with it. For me, having feminine energy was sign of weakness because I've been told that way. I've been trained that way. So I suppressed all my emotions, all my creativity, all my flow. You know, feminine energy is all about receiving and flowing, but I suppressed all of it. So now it's just my everyday practice, just to tap into my own feminine energy and love it and kind of merge these two together and bring it back, both unite them and bring them back to my heart. So this is my everyday practice now. And I believe that's very essential for all of us to do that.
Yes. Now you're talking my language. Well, I just wanted to say that congratulations by opening this live stream or workshop, let's say this way. That is the beginning of femininity because you're sharing the voice. And instead of like standing up and showing up. And it's not showing off. It's showing up of who you are, that you have the message to share. And that is vulnerable. Because I know that not a lot of people can. That is like I was there before. I totally know this feeling. I have so much to say, but I feel stuck here. And then I was like, okay, when the windows opened, and then my mind blank. I'm not gonna talk about. This is prior to Sacred Heart Valley. I share with a lot of my soul families. I used to write pages of what I'm gonna say. Hello, my name is Lilian. I write every single one. And I was like, you know what? Because I want to feel safe. And I don't want to feel blank.
Also, we have a fear of other people's judgment. That's also
That's the
another
beginning
deep
of that.
program.
I was like, oh my God, fear of people judging, fear of people, you actually fear a lot of things. That is all the self-programming of self, like the things is, you don't even open the field yet. And your fears is already talking to you. You stop yourself. So I work that a lot. But not only that, since I opened up Sacred Heart Valley, doing the heart healing work, like today, I literally have no preparation. I think that you are the same too, but we know that because we communicate along the way, Jamal, you just say, and then another will land today and said, okay, we did the conversation just flow because what needs to be here, what needs to be shared is always the right time.
Absolutely.
And incorporate in our life. That is the most real. And we're not talking about what is outside, right? We're talking about you, me, we present here by looking at you, looking at Monya, and also that visualize and feel into Sacred Heart Valley and my soul valley and my kids around me. Is incorporate in this lifestyle.
Absolutely. I'm also feeling the big energies. I don't know whoever is watching this feeling the same thing, working on our throat chakra. So my
Yes.
throat chakra is like getting activated. And also I like to share this because I did some past life work also.
Mhm.
So if you're listening to this and you're interested of this topic, I am sure you experienced this in your past lives too. I've been punished, I've been tortured just for being who I am, just for speaking my truth. I've been jailed, I've been killed, I've been, I don't know, burned to death and many things. So that was also something common from, we call it past life, but in reality, they are happening right now. So that was another block for my throat chakra. So it took me some time to work on that. I'm still working on that. And as I mentioned, I can feel it right now. It's something just getting activated in my throat chakra. So I think if this information resonating with you, there must be also some activation happening in your throat chakra. And we need to let go of that fear of being seen. We came here to be us. I came here to be Jamal, came here to be Lilian. But I was wearing masks for many, many years. I was wearing different masks when I was working. I was wearing different masks when I was being father. I was wearing different masks when I was in, I don't know, with the friends going out for drinking. So I had many different masks to wear and be someone else, which is very exhausting, to be honest. But now just being me is like natural. It's just, I come here to be me. And by being me, I'm kind of feeling we are all pieces of that bigger puzzle. And just by being me, I am fitting to that bigger picture and bigger puzzle. And I can feel that connection. I can feel that your heart sacredness. I can feel that just by being me and feeling you are being you. It's so beautiful to experience that interaction. It's so beautiful. And I just want to thank you for that, to creating this beautiful opportunity for me and many others like me. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I can resonate that deeply on that note because I would love to invite you to feel into these Jamali's. We've been talking nearly 1 hour. So when we talk, we release. And the more we share, the more we release, the more integrate that we are, and the more grounded we feel. And then when opposite of you sharing or any of us around at this moment, the window open sharing, you reflecting on yourself, self-reflection, and you see like a slideshow of your own self coming as well, right? That's why we share. That's why the healing when we share. When we open this field, the healing is starting.
Absolutely.
Where is needed to be healed in your body right at this moment? This one, as you pointed out. So yeah. So when you feel that, would you like to open up even more? To feel all of these, like really open up.
Of course, yes.
So what you do, I invite you to follow me, but I also want you to be open, vulnerable as well. It's a very simple technique. It can go down a lot deeper, but not today. But it's just for you to experience it because you're already starting to feel it. So again, it's very simple. All the healings that I receive and all the healing that I bring into So family is SES. Simple, easy, and smooth. The easier the healing is, the easier the receive. It is not fighting. It's not pushing. It's not winning. We don't do that. We're fighting to do what? As why do we win for? There's no reason winning. And also that we're not pushing because we want to bring into balance. We want to bring into harmonizing. And all the energy inside us as inner masculine and feminine. So yeah, so just feel into your throat. And I want you to invite you to really breathe into the throat. Use your breath to open your throat. Inhale, inflow, outflow through your throat. Just visualize that, whether there's any colors, any patterns, any symbols, whatever that is, what is at your space right now. Breathe into that throat, just visualize that is expanding. And then command what is in your field is connect. That is no longer who is not resonant with you and who doesn't belong to you, who, what, whatever is that, is connect. You see, scan your body, scan your throat area for these photos. And invite your inner self, multidimensional self, your ancestors come and support you at this healing. Be clear, to disconnect what is not for you, whether there's any type, any light, any invisible influence, tags, seal. Command the space to disconnect and return to where they are and sending the compassion back to the original. And using your heart energy to open up and using all the way up to your heart to nurture that. You into that nurturing, flowing energy in your heart. And I invite you to loosen your jaw at this moment, please. Yes. Open your mouth. Feeling into this heart voice, Jamal. What is that voice? I'm talking about the tone, the sound. There's no right or wrong, but it's your voice or sound. So my heart at this moment is and I invite you to do the same thing. And when you have that sounds from your heart going through your throat, imagine that expansion, that's clearing and restoring. If you know how to speak light language, it is now. Open your heart even more. Release what you don't need right this moment. Give your heart a sound. Give your throat a sound as well. Your inner child wanted to sing. And you can sing with your inner child. So much joy. And you can also feel that your heart is smiling, inner smile. And you can look down your heart. It's meet your heart at that space. And I know that the energy is built out in your body, and you just move your body. Because the energy is always in you. And say it to yourself, to your inner child, I am safe. You are safe. I am here with you. I am here. Here. And just breathe with the inner child. And he thank you for being in there. And I could feel that you would like to thank you and start bringing these ice cream stories. Twinkling, playing. And he look at your eyes, me on the same level. Say, Jamal, thank you. I bow to you. I continues to do this job. You do healing, the heart healing with me together. That's why. What a wonderful, amazing, so peaceful and calm.
That was so beautiful. Thank you for that. I was feeling divine mother energy. Thank you for that. It was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I can see the brightness on your face.
Wow.
Yeah. I was closing my eyes and it started to look different. So yeah, you can play back on our Facebook as well.
I will.
And then you can see that the joy of your showing at the end. The joy state is always the most purest, the highest and purest frequency. You know? Yeah. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you so much.
And for you, Sacred Heart Valley as well. This is a deep healing workshop. And I'm honored every single one of you in this Sacred Heart Valley, because this valley is open for our inner heart. And today, just hold a heart, and we have the inner smile with our heart. It's so simple, but and yet his heart is yearning connection. And we give, so we receive. And so use. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much. I hope to see you again very soon.
that.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.